because the branch fell off. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We are in the backyard. I'm Steve.
I'm Scott.
And together we're Backyard Musings.
The Science and Technology channel.
Reunited, and it feels so good.
Yeah, it is great to be here. The weather up in Utah was butt cold, so it is really nice to be here. It's like about 75 degrees. Yeah. I don't mind the cold, but
it's nice right now.
You know,
except for the pollen. Right now, I feel like I was telling Scott, I feel like taking a hot poker and poking my eyes out. They just hurt so bad.
Yeah, Steve's not going to do that. Don't freak out. Here we go.
Here we go. Scientists are actively pursuing the resurrection of the dodo bird.
Dodo or doo-doo? Dodo.
Dodo.
Okay.
This ambitious endeavor is being spearheaded by the biotech company Colossal Biosciences, who publicly announced their plans in January 2023. While the exact timeline remains uncertain, significant progress has been made in recent years, moving the dodo's return from the realm of science fiction, like Jurassic Park, towards a tangible, albeit complex, possibility. The initiative involves a combination of cutting-edge genetic technologies, paleogenetics, and reproductive biology, aiming to create the iconic flightless bird that vanished from Mauritius in the 17th century. I don't even know where Mauritius is. I had to look it up. We're going to show you.
Is that how you pronounce that?
Mauritius. Mauritius.
Mauritius?
Mauritius. I don't care. I don't know.
We have some slides, right? For people who are not familiar with the dodo.
Would you like to know more?
Okay, here we go.
Let me throw up the slide here.
So here we go. Slide one.
Let me hold on. Let me get the slide going here. I got to find the mouse.
And then the slides, it shows the dodo, and then later on we're going to show a type of pigeon, right?
Yeah. So on the right, you see the dodo that's been taxidermed, and on the left is its skeleton.
Interesting.
There you go.
Yeah. So the process isn't about directly cloning a dodo, as the necessary intact DNA for that is long gone. Instead, scientists are employing a more nuanced approach involving gene editing and assisted reproduction. Dodos were large, flightless birds with stout bodies, gray plumage, small wings, and a large hooked beak and short, sturdy legs. They were well adapted to the ground-dwelling existence in Mauritius.
Okay? Yeah. Interesting picture of the dodo here. Let's show you
what do they look like. They kind of look like a chicken or a turkey.
Looks like that little head. See the head? Like it's wearing a hat?
With the head of a what's that bird? It's a pelican.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Right? Kind of. Pelican's much longer. It's a hideous bird, but still it deserves to live, right?
Yeah. And who gave it the name Dodo?
Dodo.
That's just
it's real. We'll find out what its scientific name is.
Kind of weird.
Okay.
I don't know where they came up with Dodo. There it is, right there. Actually,
I gotta advance the slide. There we go. There it is. The dodo, Raphus cucullatus, went extinct in the late 17th century, with the last confirmed sighting in 1662. Although some reports suggest they may have survived until 1690, this rapid extinction is a striking example of how human activity can quickly decimate a species. Dodos were endemic to the island of Mauritius, which you can see here. It's often located in the Indian Ocean east of Madagascar. So you can see the big island of Madagascar, and it's a little tiny Mauritius. They were isolated on this island for thousands of years. Isolation. Okay, kind of like Rapa Nui, that kind of isolation.
Okay, so now we're going to go to slide 3.
Yeah, this is the cousin here.
So multiple factors led to the dodo's extinction, including deforestation, hunting by sailors, which I get eating them, I guess.
They look tasty. I'd like to know what they taste like.
I guess.
Yeah.
And the introduction of invasive animals such as rats, cats, and pigs that destroyed dodo nests and preyed on their eggs. It wasn't a single cause, but a combination of these factors. The dodo's closest relative was the Rodriguez. Okay. Thanks. Solitaire, right? Another large flightless bird that was endemic to the island of Rodriguez. Sadly, the Rodriguez solitaire is also extinct. The Nicobar pigeon is the closest living relative, and that's on Is that on slide 4 or slide
Yeah,
3?
it's on slide 4. So
4.
here on this
Pretty
slide,
bird.
the Rodriguez is you can see the taxidermed, or it's actually a picture, and then the skeleton. So they kind of look,
Similar, yeah.
the beak, and the feet and
Yeah.
short, stubby.
Shorter beak, it looks like.
Yeah, shorter beak. Yeah, cousin.
And
It's a cousin.
It doesn't have the feet aren't webbed.
No, they're like claws, like a T-Rex.
Bird.
Like a T-Rex. Yeah. Okay, so let's advance the slide here and show you the cute little pigeon.
Yeah, now that's
It's a real live pigeon.
Looks like a pretty bird. That bird could have been used for the NBC peacock. That's just really pretty bird.
Oh yeah, that's a beautiful bird. Handsome.
Yeah.
Here's a breakdown of the key steps for this resurrection. The first crucial step was to map the dodo's complete genome. This has been achieved thanks to the painstaking work of paleogeneticists, including Beth Shapiro. I wonder if she's related to Ben Shapiro. What do you think? Lead paleogeneticist at Colossal, who successfully sequenced the dodo's full genetic code. This genomic blueprint provides the essential information needed to understand what made a dodo. Well, a dodo.
Okay. The next challenge is that the dodo is extinct, and thus there is no living dodo cells to use.
Yeah, they're all gone. It's not like they're encased in amber, a fly, mosquito.
So they couldn't use part of that taxidermy or stuffed bird that we saw.
I'm sure,
right?
yeah. In museums, they just take some bone marrow from bones or something. I think.
The closest living relative to the dodo is the Nicobar pigeon, which is that really colorful bird. Yeah. Uh-huh. Scientists plan to extract germ cells, reproductive cells, from the eggs of the Nicobar pigeon, and then use the dodo's genomic information as a template to edit the pigeon's genes, making them more dodo-like.
Okay.
Yeah, fascinating.
Yeah.
This complex process involves making specific changes in the Nicobar pigeon's genetic makeup, guided by the dodo's sequenced genome.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that this would happen perfectly the first time around. I wouldn't think that. I would think they'd need to get it right. Look at the picture. Does that look like a dodo? And then keep
right. So
modifying.
What are they going to have to do? They're going to have to hatch a couple of these things, and then
have them breed.
Doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And
let's eat it, and then let's hatch another one. Right. Make some changes.
I guess, or maybe start a new species.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't know. Anyway,
little dodo. Once the gene editing is complete, the modified germ cells will be implanted back into Nicobar pigeon eggs. These eggs will then be incubated, hoping that the resulting embryos. Hope is not a course of action. It's science. You make it happen, or you don't. You don't hope. Embryos will develop into individuals with dodo-like characteristics. This process will likely require multiple rounds of experimentation and refinement. The full genome of the dodo has been sequenced by paleogeneticists using preserved remains, including bones and soft tissue samples from museums which still contain degraded genetic material.
The undertaking is not without its challenges. Significant technical data or technical obstacles remain, such as identifying which specific genes define dodo traits. Knowing the genetic code is one thing. Understanding exactly which genes control specific dodo characteristics is another.
Yeah, you don't want to make them with teeth,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You tweak one gene and boom, he's got 4 eyes instead of 2.
Yeah, and who knows how fast they reproduce. I mean, that could be devastating.
Yeah, like the trill.
Yeah. Redefining gene editing techniques. The gene editing process must be precise to avoid creating unintended effects, like we're
4
just
wings
talking about.
Instead of 2. Yeah.
Because if these things are airborne, I mean, that could be. We don't know how that could be. It could be.
Well, they were flightless, but what if now they're airborne?
Yeah, they got big wings now.
Yeah.
Developing suitable incubation and nurturing protocols. Raising these modified embryos and fledgling birds might require entirely new methods.
So nurturing, we want people to love them, right?
Sure. The complexity of reintroducing extinct species. Even if the dodo, and because now we're starting to mess with Heavenly Father's plan, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The complexity of reintroducing extinct species, even if the dodo is successfully brought back, there are profound ethical and ecological questions about how to ensure its long-term survival and how it might impact the system.
Like what could it introduce a disease to us, right?
Well, I don't know. And again, it could be a bird of
Could
prey.
it-
And these things were
It
kind of,
could be a bird of prey.
like it said, these birds were stout.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do we really know how big they were? Or were they like?
Yeah,
the
we've got
size
the
of a-
bones. We got the bones and the
So-
skeletons.
But I mean, are they? Have you ever seen it? Are they the
Me?
size of
I've
a?
never- no, I've never.
What is that bird of prey that's pretty good sized?
The hawk or the
No,
eagle?
the condor.
Condor. No, the
That's a pretty
wingspan's
big
not
bird.
that big.
Well, they don't have wings.
It has little stubbies.
Yeah,
It's got
but the
little
birds,
stubbies.
but the bird body itself.
Oh.
I mean, the fuselage of this.
Oh,
bird.
the fuselage.
Yeah,
Oh,
could this
maybe.
be? I mean, is it stout enough to where it could carry a kid away if it all of a sudden became instead of
Maybe.
flightless, it became
Child
flight able?
stealing. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, or small animals. I don't know.
The Dodo project is just one part of a larger movement towards de-extinction, which has the potential to revolutionize conservation and our understanding of evolution. Colossal Biosciences is also working on bringing back the woolly mammoth and the thylacine. This
We
is
talked
very
about that.
interesting.
Remember, we talked about the woolly mammoth.
Yeah,
didn't
we did. We did.
Yeah.
The thylacine is the Tasmanian tiger.
Yeah, how did they come up with that?
What do you mean?
What do you come up with that? Thylacine, and it's
Where do you come up with
Tasmanian?
mammoth
I
or
guess.
dodo?
I guess.
Yeah, so it's got this thylacine. It went extinct just this last century, like in 1930 or 40 or something.
Tasmanian tiger.
Yeah, yeah. So it's on video. You can see it in cages and stuff, right? It's got a mouthful of teeth too, long snout. I don't think it's ferocious, but it's like an animal, you know. But there's been sightings. People have claimed sightings, and there's a dude that debunks sightings of all kinds of the chupacabra, the whatever, the thylacine, and
What do you
they
mean
can't
debunked?
Tell.
Debunked.
Well,
Chupacabra.
no, well, yeah, that's
How
just
about-
for example.
How about Sasquatch?
Same thing. They debunk it. I mean, send the video in, and he does a little study on the video and what could be real. Specifically for the thylacine, a lot of mangy foxes have been misidentified as
maybe.
thylacines.
Maybe because of defects or something. What about
Or
the
mange,
jackalope?
the
The
mange.
jackalope? Has he done one on
Well,
the jackalope?
the thylacines have small ears. Jackals have big ears.
Jackalope?
The jackalope?
Yeah,
Yeah.
cross between an antelope and a rabbit.
Yeah.
Never
Well,
seen those before.
no. Yeah, with the horns. Yeah, I have. But this is a tiger, and they have little tiny ears, and their stripes start on the not at the neck, but in the back.
And
they go back to the
this is
tail.
obviously a predator.
Yes, it's a tiger. Yes, definitely. So, woolly mammoth and the thylacine, Tasmanian tiger, among others, showcasing the broad scope of their ambition. The progress of these projects continues to generate significant scientific and public interest. I mean, I'm interested. Weird science. I love it, man.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I think it's fascinating. It's just interesting that somebody would want to do this, I guess. But
Well, bring them back. I mean, I'm so sad that they go extinct.
I mean, are we going to bring them back? And what are they going to do? Stick them in a zoo? Of course, they won't know any different.
Some of them.
They won't know any different, right? They've been.
Have you ever
raised
seen
in
a dodo, a live
tested.
dodo?
I have
No.
not.
You might pay.
Yeah.
People might pay money to see
I
that.
have not. Yeah. Yeah. All right, bring it on. Bring on
Okay.
the dodo.
Thanks, folks. We keep giving us the comments.
Yep. Take care, everyone. Thanks.
Okay, where's this mouse? There it is.